Hey everybody, welcome back. Today is all about getting ready for Mother's Day afternoon tea. And I don't mean going out, which would be a lovely treat. I'm talking about if you want to do this at home, and whether you're going to do it for your mother, whether you're going to do it for your family, or just because. Come with me. I'm going to go to Trader Joe's and pick up a couple of goodies, may even stop at another local grocery store, just to get some key essentials to make it really easy to put together a Mother's Day afternoon tea with minimal prep. So let's go and have some fun. Okie dokie, we're at Trader Joe's, so let's go in and get some goodies. Well, that was successful. Got a lot of goodies, a lot of yummy goodies. And now let's go home and put it all together. Hello, everybody. I am back from Trader Joe's. I've unpacked my groceries. I've made myself a delicious cup of tea to be appropriate for, oops, that was the oven preheating, but made my cup of tea, and I just wanted to go over what we're going to create for this fun Mother's Day afternoon tea setup. Most of the stuff is pre-made. The only thing I didn't do that was ready-made was the egg salad. And I'm just gonna repeat the same egg salad recipe from a previous episode. I'm not gonna show it all over again, but I'm just letting you know why these ingredients are up here. So let's just go over the array of stuff. Some stuff is not from Trader Joe's. I just want to put a little asterisk there. Most of this I got at Trader Joe's, but some of this I got at my local grocery store or specialty store. So let's first talk about what I got at Trader Joe's. You saw me go in and I picked up some bread. So I got the sliced French brioche. That's going to be a nice sweet bread that will complement the egg salad. I also got the super bread, which has a bunch of the like sunflower seeds, etc. on it. This is going to be perfect for the chicken curry salad. And then because we're going to do we'll call it traditional cucumber sandwich, I got hearty white bread. This was from my local grocery store. Cucumber, and then from Trader Joe's we got some whipped cream cheese. I'm probably going to put some chives in there, whipped into the cream cheese with it for the cucumber sandwich, which I like personally. So that's going to be the savory sandwiches. I also picked up the sweet lemon or glazed sweet lemon scones from Trader Joe's and some grapes. But what I really love, and I hope you'll have this brand accessible in your area, the Sticky Fingers Bakeries brand. Our local grocery store carries one flavor, blueberry, which is delicious. But for this particular Mother's Day afternoon tea, I really wanted to do a raspberry lemon theme. So I went to another favorite specialty store, World Market. They have a ton of these varieties. They have this raspberry white chocolate. They have blueberry, lemon poppy. I think they have a cheddar chive. My point is, when I want to get a variety of the scone mixes, that's where I go. I'm sure you could probably get this online. I'll see on Amazon if you can. I'll let you know if I find it. But in the meantime, this is what we're going to make in our oven, because you heard the oven preheat a few moments ago. That's what we're going to be baking. That's the only baked good we're going to do here in the kitchen. Everything else has been pre-made. I picked up raspberry preserves, and what I forgot to put on here, clotted cream. So clotted cream, hold on, let me go grab it. Ta-da! Clotted cream is a favorite of mine to go with scones. And I know for for those of you familiar with afternoon tea, especially in Great Britain or even places that have have British traditions, even in Canada, it is very common, it is actually expected when you have your scones, you would have it paired with, at minimum, clotted cream and a jam. Here in America, if you're lucky, they'll put clotted cream or double cream with your scone platter. But it's not unusual if in the US, instead of this, they do butter, which is okay. It's like butter and biscuits. But for me, nothing's like clotted cream on a scone. So back to my friends at World Market, they sell this as well. So that's where I got the clotted cream. Going back to Trader Joe's now, I've got an assortment of sort of fun desserty items. So you can't have an afternoon tea without macaroons. So here is what was the current available assortment in the freezer. So I'll let this sort of sit out while I'm doing all the prep work so it can get to room temperature, but there's six flavors in here: fig, lemon, apricot, coconut, pistachio, and salted caramel. So something for everybody. Tying back to the lemon theme, there are classic lemon bars. They also sometimes do a really nice trio of dessert bars as well. They didn't have that this time, but I'm really happy for lemon bars. It's very seasonal, and again, it goes nicely with the menu. we already opened them, but we also picked up the all butter shortbread that has the raspberry filling as one of the desserts. We've tried them, they're really good. Pink and whites, which are shortbread cookies that have just pink and white icing on them. And then we also got some shortbread cookies, British shortbread. These were okay. You'll see when we open them up, they're very tiny. So this might be more of a normal afternoon tea, not an afternoon tea with the full array, but if you're just having a cup of tea and you need something sweet, I think this goes nicely with it. One of the flavors is coffee. And I'll say that the coffee is really good when you have an espresso or an Americano with it. But with the tea, it kind of conflicted. So not certain how much I'm gravitating to all the flavors here. And then lastly, we found a fun box of English fudge collection. There was clotted cream fudge. So hey, we got clotted cream again. Chocolate fudge and holiday spice fudge. So some really fun, savory scones and sweet. Lastly, let's talk about teas. So these two teas, this one's a new one for me. This one is called Mother's Day from Harney & Sons, and I found this at World Market. What I love about tea tins, they're just so pretty. So this one happens to have 30 sachets inside of tea. I'm normally a loose leaf tea drinker, but this has tea bags, which is fine. But I'm curious, this is a caffeine-free floral tea, so we will try this today. But I have my favorite tea of all time. It's a loose leaf tea. It's my father was an Earl Grey tea drinker for a very, very long time, so I really love Earl Grey. But then I watched a YouTube video by, I think his name is Nicholas Fairford, and he introduced me to Earl Grey French Blue. French Blue, when you look at the tea, actually, I don't know if you can see, I'll get a closer shot later, but it has these beautiful blue dried flowers in it, and smells like heaven. So when we brew tea, I will do two types. I will do an actual brewing of a loose leaf tea, and then we'll also just have some hot water to make a Mother's Day cup of tea with a tea bag, a sachet. So, one more thing, how can I forget? Now, sadly, my mother is no longer here physically to celebrate Mother's Day, but I did find at Trader Joe's a Hawaiian bouquet. So there's some ginger, some bird's paradise, it looks like tea leaves. So the other thing I'm gonna have in honor of my mom is to have a little Hawaii bouquet of part of the presentation once we put it all together. So let me organize my space here. We're gonna start first by making some scones, and then while these are baking, we'll start assembling all the rest of the stuff onto the tea platter as well as the sandwiches. So let's get going. So we are ready to make the scones. I just washed my hands, and so before I put this mix together, what I thought we'd do, since we're on the scone topic, so I can see, we're gonna put the lemon scones into their little presentation platter. So I have this lovely little display tray. Oh, we have one that's sort of broken, so we'll kind of merchandise it a certain way here. We have the lemon scones in our little display. If you like this I got from Target. I think it's from the Magnolia Hearth and Hand, yes. Looks like it was $19.99 when I bought it. So the lemon scones, just putting them to the side. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to make the raspberry white chocolate. Super duper easy. Easiest thing ever. If I could tell you anyone can bake this, anyone can bake this, I promise. Open the bag, dump it in a bowl. Once you get everything out, you pour 2/3 of a cup of water. Stir, and that's it. Not kidding, that easy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna thoroughly mix this, and then once it becomes sort of a crumbly mixture without it being too powdery, and it's tempting, when you first start doing this, you'll think, oh, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. Well, I promise you, don't add water yet. Just keep mixing until you find it kind of clumps into one big ball of dough. And then you're gonna find when you actually put it into your scone pan, it's gonna be just fine. Now, speaking of scone pans, this one in front of me, a World Market favorite of mine, bought it several years ago. I believe they still have it. I think I've seen it recently. I've purchased it for my best friend because she saw me use it the other day, or not even the other day, a while ago. But when she saw it, she was amazed how easy it was not only to make this recipe, but also how cute these little scones come out. So she uses it now too with the same mixture because super fun, super easy, and you feel productive and satisfied when you're all done. Okay, so here is the consistency I was telling you about. All you need to do next is spray this pan. Now, if you don't have a scone pan like I do, that's fine. You can just break it into, I think there are, let's see, it says 12 servings. So you put, my plate here is for 8, what I'm gonna do is follow the same exact recipe as far as the time in the oven. It's gonna bake just fine. But if you're doing it freestyle, just break it into 12 sections, whether you make them as biscuit shapes or you get a cookie cutter and sort of fill it into a shape of a certain type of simple cookie cutter shape. Whatever is easier for you. This, for me, is the easiest. Evenly distributed in the pan, now going into the oven for 14 to 16 minutes. Let's go. As our delicious white raspberry scones are baking, I will put together the flour arrangement, and then we'll start talking a little bit about the dessert section of an afternoon tea ensemble. So let's first do the Hawaii flowers for my mom. Let's go. About 5 minutes, so we have about 10 minutes left before the scones come out. And I have to say, before I take care of this, the trash, I read this little card and it says, "Flowers make me happy." It's almost like they knew. Create your happy. Flowers make you happy. All right, I'm gonna bring out the cookies and some of the desserts, and we'll start setting up the dessert platter. Let's do it. So here are the desserts I'm laying out to put on the dessert level of our afternoon tea. Just to clarify, when you think about an afternoon tea, traditionally, there are 3 layers. There's a layer, the first layer, which are sandwiches, which we'll be making shortly. Then there's a layer where you have scones, breads. We're gonna focus primarily on scones today, and that's what the second tier here is. The top tier is the dessert tier. That's what these ready-made goodies are all about. I normally set this up so that this represents either a tea setting for 1, or it's not uncommon, this also could be a tea setting for 2. So for today, I'm gonna set this up as if 2 people are having tea time. If you are doing this for more than 2 people, you may wanna consider having multiple holders for your afternoon tea. So for every 2 people, they share one. Or you can get multiple cake stands and put them across the entire table, and everyone can grab what they want and be a little bit more casual. I tend to like the traditional approach where you actually have the tiered tea stand, and so that's what we're going to build on today. So the top tier is done. We have the lemon bars. I chose the lemon and fig macarons to go with the flavor profile. The English toffee these little tiny guys here, these are the English toffee shortbread cookies. This is the shortbread with raspberry filling. Clotted cream fudge, yum. And just the simple pink sugar cookies, from Trader Joe's. So that is the dessert topping to our tier that'll be quite delicious with our tea. And by the way, scones are ready. Here we go, they are done. Just keep an eye on when you do the baking in your own oven. I found for my oven, the perfect time is 15 minutes. The packaging says 375 between 14 and 16 minutes. In our old oven, I'd have to go 18 minutes because our old oven was a little inconsistent with the heat. So you know your oven's better than I do. For me, this comes out beautifully at 15 minutes at 375. So let this cool. I'll remove the dessert stuff, and then we will start making some sandwiches. We have our desserts, we have our scones. Now it's time to make the sandwiches. Those are the first layer of your tier. And I have 3 we're gonna make. We're gonna do a cucumber with whipped cream cheese with some tiny minced chives in it. And that is going to be on the farmhouse bread. Put the wrong bread there. So it's on the farmhouse bread. Then we're gonna have the curry chicken salad from Trader Joe's, and we're putting that on their organic super bread that has a really lovely texture on it because it has pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, sunflower seeds. There's carrots, dried apple, and sesame seeds in here as well. So a really hearty tasting sandwich. And then lastly, we're gonna do the egg salad on the French brioche bread. The egg salad I'm making at the very end just because it takes a little bit more assembly because this stuff is more pre-made. But why I have all of this, all the 3 breads out together first is I'm actually going to measure them because I want them all to be the same size. So when I do the presentation of the sandwiches, they're all the same scale. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to take 2 pieces of each out because I'm gonna make 1 sandwich. That half of each sandwich is going to be the serving for the party of 2 that is going to eat off of this tier. Alrighty, so let's start and go through all the breads. I tend to try to grab some of these smaller breads from the middle just to get the widest ones possible. Because as you can see, they're different scale to the white hearty bread. So as I look at these breads and I scale them next to each other, it actually looks like the brioche might be the smallest, but they're close to scale to the hearty bread, but definitely they're both much smaller than the white bread, the hearty white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate them for a moment, and I am going to use a serrated edge knife, so not a steak knife, but a serrated edge knife, to square off first the hearty bread, and then I'm going to use one of that as the template to then cut the brioche and then cut the hearty, so that I'm starting with the same scale foundation breads for all three sandwiches. Nice and scale. So now let's make the sandwiches. I feel like the easiest one will be the chicken curry salad because it's already here. What I do need to go get is some butter. Let's start first with the curry chicken salad sandwich. And a little tip I learned a few years ago when it comes to any of your tea sandwiches that have some type of salad on it, chicken salad, egg salad, don't just put it directly on the bread. The recommendation is you butter the bread first and then you put the salad on it, because it actually helps hold the sandwich together. If you ever do it where it's just the bread with the salad in the middle, you might find that the bread falls off. If you don't like butter, you could use mayonnaise if you prefer that flavor. Just know there's a benefit to putting some sort of layer, some type of oil layer, whether it's the mayonnaise or in this case butter, to just help the presentation. So when you put the sandwiches on the plate, because most of the time the sandwiches go sideways so you can see the filling up, it helps keep the bread connected with the filling. All right, so let's do this with the chicken salad. So this one's gonna have the hearty super bread. So let's first put some butter. Just press it down and let it sit there for a moment while we make our next sandwich. Salt and pepper. And mix it up. So there are different approaches to the sandwich on how you cut the cucumbers. I've seen cucumbers cut like circles. I prefer to do it so it's the length, almost the length of the bite, because I found sometimes those circles fall out. So what I'm doing, the reason I bring that up is I'm starting my cucumber cut at a strong diagonal so that when I cut the additional slices, and see I'm doing it nice and thin, they will cover the majority of the bread. Little tip, you don't have soggy sandwiches. After you cut the cucumber, Just quickly put it on a paper towel. And dab it down so that when you put it on the sandwich, it doesn't take all that moisture and make your sandwich soggy. So as I'm leaving that in there for just a moment, I'm clearing this. And now I'm going to smear, or schmear, I guess is the right term, the cream cheese on the bread. And then you take cucumber, and hopefully get that perfect, the length of your sandwich. And cover her up. Someone is patiently waiting for something to fall on the ground. Last sandwich, we made the delicious egg salad, and it's a favorite, I have to say, now in the house since I learned how to make it for the last video for, I think it was Easter recipes. So now we're going to use the brioche. I changed my mind. I'm going to use mayonnaise for the oil layer on this sandwich because there's mayonnaise inside the egg salad, so I think it just will complement the flavor cleaner. So now that we have the beautiful sandwiches made, let's now assemble. So you see how pretty that is from the side. So we do cucumber, chicken curry, egg salad. Turn it around. Do the same thing on this side. Put some garnish of fruit. So whether you want to do berries, I just happen to have washed grapes. I think they came out really pretty. So now that we have the desserts and the sandwiches done, we can finalize the scones. So now that these are nice and cool, I will take some out and put them under the display dome, and then the rest we'll put onto the actual serving. So we'll mix the raspberry white scones on here with the lemon scones that came from Trader Joe's. And I'll serve it with both the raspberry jam and clotted cream. So let's put this together. So what do you think? I think it's a wonderful little masterpiece for you to present to either your mother, for yourself, let's fix this cookie, for yourself, for your family, just because. Now we haven't made any tea yet, but there was a lot of fun love that went into making this. So remember, we bought everything on the dessert top. The only thing we made were the scones that were the raspberry white chocolate. Those baked for 15 minutes, cooled, served, super easy. The sandwiches took the most time to make, but truly, if you wanted to save time, just don't make your own egg salad. Buy a pre-made one. My egg salad takes, with all the, have hard-boiled eggs, you have to wait for that. That's the longest component, but actually making the egg salad, once you have hard-boiled eggs, you can do that in less than 10 minutes. So truly, to put all this together, if you have the right products and the right ingredients, And even if you have everything ready-made, you could put all this together in less than half an hour, for sure, for sure. So yeah, let's look at this one more time from the top bottom or bottom up. Let's go from bottom up since that's the direction you would eat this. And you guys, I'm pretty happy with this and I'm kind of hungry. Now, of course, we have to make some tea. So let's brew some tea and let's just quickly talk about proper tea steeping. Time to accompany this delicious food with some beverage, and typically it is tea. It's not unusual, however, if little kiddos are joining, maybe you also make some hot chocolate. I also like it when you're doing this around a brunch time, having it with maybe a mimosa or simply a glass of sparkling champagne. But for right now, let's just talk quickly about the two different types of teas. You either have teas that, like this Mother's Day tea, are tea bags or tea sachets or sachets, and that's simply you add hot water to the tea bag in your cup or your mug. Most places that serve it fancy will be in a cup, but they'll put it the tea sachet in its own teapot, and they will have it pre-steeped, and you just remove the tea bags when you have it at the strength that you want. At home, some of you may put it in a teapot, some of you may just put it into your cup, but at the end of the day, you have a lot more control with a tea bag. My personal preference, though, is to do loose leaf, because when you're steeping the hot water with the tea leaves, you actually pull more flavor from loose leaf tea, because literally the loose leaf tea, which, again, my favorite here that I showed you earlier, the Earl Grey with the beautiful blue flowers in it, the French blue, they truly dance in the hot water, and all the flavors from all the way around the leaves or the petals are extracted into the water. When they're in the tea bag, not a bad flavor either, but because they're in a sachet, the tea leaves are a little finer and a little more powdery, so that it can extract in the water, and it's just a different flavor profile. I like it with the loose leaf, just personal preference. So some of you may have it with some lemon. Some people put it with cream or milk. Some people add honey. I like it straight up, just the flavor of the tea. But whatever you pair it with, this entire tower will be enhanced, whether it's a black tea, a herb tea, and I can't wait for you to enjoy this with your spouse, with your kids, with your mom, with your family, with your friends. Thank you again for joining me today, making afternoon tea for Mom. I have to reflect back on my mom. I miss her greatly. She was the beacon of my inspiration growing up. Most of what I do, whether it's design or gardening, comes from her. And it makes me very proud to be able to share this talent, not only with all of you, but it makes me remember her very vividly and clearly. And so with this, I'm going to toast my mom and all of your moms out there a happy Mother's Day, whether they're here to give a hug or simply give a big heartfelt prayer to them on this special day, whether it's a little bit of a tea time to make you all smile and laugh, or simply sip some tea and be in some peaceful solace. I wish you all a beautiful holiday. At this time, it is a very English-like afternoon here in Massachusetts. So I'm going to enjoy my tea, maybe a scone with some clotted cream, and I look forward to seeing all of you again tomorrow. Cheers.